Hi, thank you, Sarah. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Ask a Race Director. I'm Francisco, Product Evangelist at Events.com, and with me I have Lowell Burton. She's the Marketing Director of the Nite Run Hawaii.
Hi,
Well,
everybody. Thank you for having me.
absolutely. We're going to be spending just a few minutes with Lowell here, learning a little bit about her experience as a race director, asking her a few questions, and having a great time. Hopefully, everyone enjoys. So, Lowell, on with the first question. What's What are some of the best tips that you can give someone that's looking to start a race series for the first time?
Well, I would say, so this is my first time as running a race as a marketing director for any sort of racing organization. So we've been learning a lot as we go. I would say the best tip is to start planning way further in advance than you think you need to. We felt a little silly at first trying to market 4 to 6 months out from our events because you felt like you were building all this hype and then nothing was happening for a long time. But what we found is that there's so much that goes into advertising, the magazines we wanted to advertise in. Oftentimes you need to get your ads in 2 to 3 months in advance. The very first race that we did, we didn't start marketing enough in advance, and we ended up having to use some daily deal sites like Groupon and Living Social to swell the ranks a little bit. And obviously that's not really what we want. It's not great for the event. It's great to have the Groupon people there, but we don't make any money to give, and we donate all of our profits to charity. So the less money we make off the registrations, the less we have to give away to the charities. And yeah, definitely plan more in advance than you think. Get the Events.com listing live as soon as you know all your details, because people start trickling in, and then once you start your marketing push, you can go from there.
Fantastic, thank you. So now we know it's never too early to get started with planning.
Nope.
Coming from Lowell Burton, she's marketing director at the Nite Run Hawaii. So how did you get started in endurance? Why endurance?
Actually, I kind of fell into this by accident. I'm a web designer, and I got hired to design the website for Nite Run Hawaii. And then the more I became involved in the website, the more I was learning about the race. And then the founder, John Henderson, needed help with, Facebook marketing, all sorts of digital advertising, email marketing, and I took on all those roles, and just became more involved, and then helped him design a registration system. And because I'm kind of a control freak, then I needed to be there to actually make sure everything went as planned. And so now I run all the registration for all the events that we do. I'm there on the day of the events, I'm there for packet pickups, and I still manage all of the digital media stuff. So I myself am not a particularly good runner, but it's inspiring to see all, ours is a 5K fun run. So it's a little more lighthearted and family friendly, and it's not timed. So it's more just about the experience and getting people in our community out there to be healthy and fit. And so it's fun to see, little kids out there running in costumes and people who've never run a race before. And so it's a good introduction into endurance for me. The story of how Nite Run Hawaii got started might be a little more interesting. The founder, John Henderson, was an elite triathlete. He did Ironmans and was nationally ranked. And in 2009, he was hit by a bus when he was training on his road bike, and he is now paralyzed from the waist down. So he's a paraplegic, and that was almost 6 years ago that happened. And Nite Run Hawaii has been his effort to stay involved in a community that he really loves. He can't participate in the races anymore, but so this is his way of giving back to the community that meant so much to him and making sure he stays involved. So that's what Nite Run Hawaii is all about.
Absolutely, fantastic. You mentioned that even though you got started maybe from the design, marketing side of things, you do wear a lot of hats, especially on race day, helping with packet pickup and expo. What are 3 mistakes that can happen on race day that people should be aware of?
It's funny, I think we make new mistakes every time, and each time we learn from the old ones, and then something else comes along. But I would say the 3 biggest mistakes, we have made an effort to be very digitally based. We run all of our registration stuff online. We have these fancy online waiver systems that people fill out on iPads. But we do races in these really cool locations all across Oahu. We have little, Wi-Fi systems, but you never know what's going to happen with power. The generators go down. So I would say the number one mistake would be being too reliant on digital stuff and not having any backups. We learned the hard way to always have backup paper waivers and pens. When the lines get really long and things are going slow or your internet goes down, you have to have a backup plan. So just running everything digitally is the easiest for us, but we have learned to always have a backup plan just in case everything goes down. I would say the number two thing for us is not having enough packets. Our first couple races, we were trying to estimate how many people we would have and purchase just enough stuff, to save money, purchase just enough stuff for race packets, just enough t-shirts and headlamps and everything we need to not have any extras. And what happened is we ended up having 50 to 100 same-day registrations that we hadn't really accounted for. And people want their stuff. You got to make sure that if they're paying money to do the race, they want the t-shirt, they want the headlamp, they want the bib number and everything, and running out was really disappointing. So that was our second mistake that I think we've learned a lot from, is to always have extras, extra packets, extra t-shirts, extra headlamps. Sometimes, the battery isn't working right or whatever, and you got to be able to throw somebody another one really quick. So backups for your digital stuff and backups for your race packets. And then I think the third mistake would be taking it too seriously. This may be specific to our race because we are a fun run, and the whole emphasis is on family and community, and it's not timed. We do a big costume contest instead of announcing winners by time. So when we were taking ourselves a little too seriously and getting really stressed out about having all the details perfect and everything go off without a hitch, first of all, probably never going to happen. There's always going to be something that you can't plan for. And just being able to go with the flow and make sure that, number one, that our participants are having fun and that they're taken care of and that they're safe and happy. Everything else doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, people don't remember the little things that maybe they didn't even know that it didn't go as planned. But what they remember is if the attitude was good and people were having a good time and they had fun and, got to hang out with their friends. So.
Absolutely. I mean, I have to imagine, I personally have never done a night run before, but I have to imagine how much fun it is with the headlamps, the neon, and everything, the creativity that people put into it. But that being said, you are working with a night run. This is not something that a lot of people are used to. What are some things that you have to plan for or get prepared for a night run versus a conventional day run or morning run?
Well, as you can imagine, our number one priority is the safety of our runners, and so at nighttime that gets a little trickier because you want to make sure that they have a clean path to run on with nothing to trip them up, twist an ankle, anything like that. We have LED lights and spotlights that go all the way along the course with generators. We also have course marshals who are out on the course guiding the runners to make sure everybody's in the right place. And also we're very particular about the locations that we choose. I think you have to be for the safety of the runners at night. And our race director, Chris Gardner, he's been putting on races in Hawaii for over 20 years. And so he is very choosy about which locations he feels like are a good fit for our event because, it's definitely different. We need to make sure if it goes onto the streets anywhere that we can close down the streets and provide a safe place for our runners to run away from cars. You just got to make sure there's good lighting. Everybody gets a headlamp, so that helps. So we encourage people to bring extra lamps and glow sticks and all sorts of fun stuff, but we give every participant a headlamp so that they have a little extra light out there on the course.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It's really fun.
Now, last question. We would love to know, what are some essentials that you keep on your bag on race day? 5 things that you carry with you at all times.
5 things. Number 1, my laptop, because everything that we do, with the Events.com platform and all of our registration tools, waivers, everything, even contact information for people if they need emergency contact, all of that is stored on my computer. As I said before, I do download hard copies just to make sure nothing, if anything, goes down, that I still have it. But the second part of that is we have a little MiFi portable wireless little Wi-Fi system that comes with us, so that we have Wi-Fi wherever we go. So those 2 are my number 1 and 2, and then number 3 is definitely a water bottle, because it is super hot, especially right now. We just did a race in July. It is so hot in Hawaii in the summer. So, when I'm running around like crazy, back and forth between volunteers and the registration tent and event setup, it's easy for me to get dehydrated and hungry too. I always forget. I always think I'm going to have time to eat lunch or something. You don't. So I bring protein bars and stuff like that with me. And then the 5th thing is that I always bring my flip-flops, or as we call them, slippas, here in Hawaii, because after a full day running around and it's hot and you're in your sneakers and whatever to lift for heavy lifting and running around, it feels so good to take off those shoes and put your flip-flops back on. So those would be my 5 things, I think.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. Actually, no. I've been wanting an opportunity to say mahalo to you.
Mahalo and aloha from Hawaii.
Yes.
Yeah, we hope to get a lot more events happening out here, and then hopefully, Events.com can take a trip out and visit us.
We would love to. It would be our pleasure. Well, thank you so much, Lowell, Marketing Director of the Nite Run Hawaii. Thank you for hanging out with us today, and thank you for everyone that's viewing us as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Aloha, everybody.
Bye, Lowell.